we're back with Jeremy Rusco of Dynamic Discs. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks.
That was fun.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to have our Q&A portion, and we're going to have our first guest come on up. Ask a question of Jeremy.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm Elena.
Hey, Elena.
Hi. Two-part question. So at what pivotal moment did you feel it went from a hobby to a business model? And the second part is, when you knew it was a business, did you have a business plan in place? And if you did, how much did you keep to that plan, and or did you just detract from the plan?
Those are fabulous, fantastic questions. Those are great questions. So I remember, like in college, some of my friends' parents were like, "Man, you got something going. Like you're going to be able to do this." You know, I'm like, whatever. You know, like I'm selling some discs. You know, they're like, "You can make a job of this." And after I graduated, started substitute teaching. I think it was that point when I had to quit substitute teaching that it was like really evident that this is going to be what I do for, hopefully forever, but at least for a long time. And then the second part of the question.
Business plan.
Business plan, that's another great question. So there never was a business plan.
Oh.
And actually when we moved into our first real commercial build, our second commercial building, the 6,000 square foot one that we're still in downtown Emporia today, actually started seeking some advice, and the Emporia State University, they wanted me to put together a business plan for some stuff, and I was like, okay, like everything changes so quick. It's like every 3 months it was like something new. And so ended up putting some stuff together, and it was funny how, you know, because you put stuff together, but looking at it, like it was like in 6 months we were already at like what we wanted for like a year or 2 years in some places. And things just changed so much that it was like, as fast as we're growing, as fast as the sport in itself is growing, a business plan didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it did and it didn't. So.
Right.
I don't know. It's all,
Nice.
Everything came so quick and still is coming quick.
Just rolling with the punches, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on down.
Hi, Jeremy, I'm Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
As you were thinking and talking about the business plan, kind of what came to mind is, for all businesses, is thinking about the future. So have you given any thought as to how you're going to evolve or stay up with it? Because, you know, things have their peak, you know, and they kind of peak out. Have you given any thought to what you're going to do, or how you'll keep going or expanding from there, from where you are?
Yeah, great question. So I don't see disc golf slowing down for at least 1 decade. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. I don't know how long that is. But for us, it's, you know, we're always looking ahead, and we're always trying to plan for the future. And one of the things, obviously, as we're growing, we need to expand on our warehouse. We need to expand on our offices. But our discs are currently made over in Sweden. And so at some point, there's a lot of challenges with having overseas production.
Sure.
We feel like we might need to bring some of that production here to the United States, a portion of it, not all of it. We still want them to handle some of the things that they're the best at, but bringing some of that over with their expertise. So that's one of the things that we think will help us stay ahead of the curve. And we also know that there's what we think 10, 20, 30 more years of growth for the sport. So we just want to keep pushing things, keep getting people involved in the sport, and do everything that we can to take care of the customers.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I don't know
Thank
if that
you.
answered it enough, but
No, that's good,
Okay.
because you know, you think about it, because everything has a season or has a time, and you kind of have to think about, like, well, what if, as this changes, what are we going
Yeah.
to be doing to stay up with that? That's kind of where I was thinking.
So one of the interesting things is, it was always like we were playing catch up. Every year it was like, man, we got to catch up. We got to get these discs out as fast as we can. We couldn't even think ahead to the next year. We were trying to think ahead to like what we can do like
Right.
next week. Now we're already planning on, our 2018 discs aren't even out yet. We're already planning on 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 2018 is already in motion, and now we're ahead to
Sure.
2019 in a lot of aspects. Now we still got plenty of things to do in 2018, but with our products, we're that far ahead where it was, hurry up, get this made, hurry up, get these out. And now we're maturing a little bit more as a company, so that's been kind of a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I bet. Good. Well, good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, Kathy. All right. One more question. Come on down.
All right. Hey, Jeremy. I'm Anthony. So kind of a couple questions. We didn't really address on like the design of the discs and the different types of discs that are out there. I mean, they range, obviously. What's your participation in that? I mean, are you behind that as far as designing those, or do you have a team that more or less does that for you, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I am no disc engineer.
Okay.
Neither is really anybody on our team, but there are specifications that these discs can only be, a certain width here. They have to be a certain weight. They have to bend, so
Right.
in case they hit you, they maybe don't hurt as bad as they could.
Oh, they hurt, yeah.
Yes, they do. So what we do, they're over in Sweden at Latitude 64, which is where our discs are produced. They are who we partnered up with to produce discs for us, because we knew there would be a lot of challenges to us doing our own production.
Sure.
Me trying to design a disc probably wouldn't go so good.
Yeah, where do you begin?
They're
Yeah.
good at it. So when they have a designer over there, we tell him what we want. We'll tell him, we want a certain rim width. We want a certain dome to it. We want it to be flat. We want it to, have a bead here. We want different things, and he will. We want it to be kind of similar to this disc, except we want it to be slower.
Yeah.
Fly more to the right, fly more to the left, and he will do his 3D renderings. He'll send that back to us, tell us what he thinks it'll fly like, and we'll sign off on it.
Sure.
Now, and then they'll have the molds produced. They will put up a prototype run of the product. We'll test it out, and most of the time it works.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't,
Right.
and we'll have to make an adjustment, do the same thing again. And it usually works then, but there's been a couple discs that we've had to go to the next adjustment, and then that's
And you obviously you guys get to name them. I mean, you
Correct.
name them. Just is there any rhyme or reason behind the names, or is it just?
well. I mean, most of our names: Judge, Truth,
Yeah,
Fugitive, Escape,
I throw
Trespass.
the truth, yeah, which I get, and it's true to what it does.
Yeah.
And so my second part is more of a comment, I guess, sort of a question. Obviously, avid players, and it's gotten less and less, which is good, but you lose discs.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It is a good thing for you.
Recurring income.
So maybe this isn't a good idea.
Hey, it's
'cause,
good for somebody else.
well, this could actually maybe. So what we've
Your
always
loss
thought.
is somebody else's gain.
Yes,
The person that finds it, and maybe us who can
Well,
sell another one.
obviously they're weighted a certain weight for a reason.
Yeah.
But so an idea, which now that you said that makes no sense to you, but great sense to me is how great would it be? Because I've played at night before, and so you have to put the light on, the LED light. But with that, and with your cell phone, to have a disc that beeps when you lose it, which you could incorporate into your cost. I don't know if it's cost effective if you're
Yeah.
going to lose it, but anyway, we've thought of that, and none of my friends have the.
Yeah. So
know.
there is actually something out there that does the beeping aspect
Is there?
of it.
Okay.
Now, West Side Discs, the company that
Yes.
Dynamic Discs, us, and Latitude 64 just bought out equally.
Right.
West Side Discs, the owner of that company, was actually working on smart disc technology.
Okay.
So he had a chip
Right.
produced, 10 grams, that would sync up to your cell phone. It would tell you what angle it flew
Right.
at, what the rotation was, how fast. If there was flutter, it
Yeah.
would show that.
Very cool.
It would show kind of your arm if it was doing this or
yeah.
this. And it would locate the disc within a few feet.
Okay.
But come to find out that technology is apparently patented by Wilson for a football.
And there was no.
And so
yeah.
there's some challenges that have been,
That's a shame because
Yes, it
with
is.
Anheuser and all that, you'd really want to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. So
Yeah.
anyway, I appreciate your products.
Yeah.
I throw them.
Hey,
So
thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Got another question? Come on down. Step right up, Reg.
Hi, Reg Pinkham.
Nice to meet you.
And congratulations. I totally admire what you're doing. I haven't been an entrepreneur in my entire life. I feel for you as you go through the different steps for
Yeah.
sure. I guess the question I have is this country was built on companies just like yours. That's small company that grew. With the new tax laws that are coming in, how is that going to affect you and your people?
So, good question. I tell you what, that's been stuff I've absolutely been trying to think about and thinking about. So, essentially, everything that I know is this is a huge benefit for us as a company. So we had a good year. Last year, we sold a whole bunch of stuff. We didn't have a lot of profit. We made a lot of reinvestment back into our company, into our staff, into processes and software and those sorts of things. We thought this year we were going to have a good year. We did have a good year, which allows us to keep growing. But almost half of that we have to send away,
Yes,
paying taxes,
yes.
which doesn't allow us. I mean, we have a lot of debt. We have a lot that we pay to the bank every month in interest. We can't grow. We can't expand on our building because we can't afford it, because we have to afford all these products into our warehouse, and we're just growing so quickly. And what the new tax reform will do for us as a company is it will save us money that will allow us to be able to reinvest in our people, reinvest in growing our business. I've seen companies that are giving raises or giving bonuses to their employees, and these are things that we're going to be able to do because we're not having to lose that money. So I think it's a great thing for us. I almost feel like there could be a couple different classifications. One for a growing business like us. There's so many challenges to keep up with that growth that I feel like there should be some sort of different structure, because if we could reinvest that money that we're throwing away in taxes, now that gets going somewhere, but for us, we could use that to make sure that we could grow the business, grow our staff, and do a lot of good things. But should be a good thing for us, and we're excited.
Well, and as you were explaining, of course, my stomach is turning and this kind of thing. I've been through it 1,000 times. You get a good business, you build a great machine, it makes some good money, and you want to continue that growth because the marketplace wants that
Yes,
growth.
yes.
And all of a sudden 50% or whatever that percentage is has to go over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're forced to go to the marketplace and borrow money,
Yeah.
which from a profit standpoint creates more problems.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, the whole system is designed to chase itself.
Yes.
And so by so many people you hear talking, or a number of people, that the owners of companies are simply going to pocket the money. When in actual fact, if they would listen to your commitment to your business and your people, that's not the truth.
Yes,
The
correct.
truth is that you're going to invest in the machine,
Yeah.
and this will give you more.
Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Reg.
Very well.
Great question, Reg. Come on down.
Thank you. Hi, it's a pleasure. Sean Martin.
Sean, nice to meet you.
Well, I'm curious. I believe, if I understood correctly, so early on in your career, when you got started, you mentioned you were selling these on eBay, small, and then at some point you would realize that, okay, I'm going to need some help if I'm going to continue this endeavor that I'm on. And if I recall correctly, a buddy of yours had prompted you to go, hey, I'm good with business. I can foresee what's going on here. So when he approached you with that, did you have any trepidation? Did you have any sense of oh, I'm sorry. Did you have any trepidation about delving into that, or sense of I don't want to lose control over this is my thing? How did you approach that aspect?
Yeah, good question. Well, it was actually, he was one of my best friends growing up. He was the quarterback, I was the running back. We went through a lot of stuff together, I guess you could say, growing up. And he moved away after college and went to do his own business in Florida. And then as the recession hit and the economy changed, their business wasn't able to survive. And so he came back for a hunting trip and kind of started asking questions and, hey, maybe I could do something while I'm here, and let me put together a website and stuff. And so ultimately, it just, one thing kind of turned into another, and it was, hey, I'll stay a week if you'll let me stay, and I'll stay a month, and you can, fly me home, and well, maybe we could make this a real thing. And there was never any, hey, I want a percentage of the company, or I want, no strong demands. It was really a friend helping, two friends
Let's give
working
this a
together.
try and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And
Yep. And
Interesting.
things just kept growing, and it was, we never quit working. It was
Very
a lot
interesting.
of. Yeah, it takes a lot to grow a business, and I was fortunate to have very good people there to grow it right from the not from the get-go, but from when the time was right.
Interesting. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good.
Well, I sat there for a while because I couldn't quite figure out, there's so many thousand things I'd like to talk to you about, and because he was 5 years old when I competed in this tournament, okay?
I love that.
So I played this
Golf
before.
tournament.
Golf tournament.
Golf
That was a
tournament.
guy here in town trying to start a pay-per-play course that you said everything's free. That was kind of, but I've been always interested, and I just saw, somebody showed me your discs the other day and how antique mine are, and
Yeah.
they said, "Boy, Bob, you got it," and I'm going, "Wow." So you were talking about the engineers a while ago, and there's the different flight patterns, of course. So when you're working in tandem with this other company, do your people that are the players that know what they want a disc to do, if it's not quite turning sharp enough or fading sharp enough, that give them the idea that it needs to be a bead, or you tell them, I want to just do this, and then it will put a bead this way, or what, how do you come up with the end result?
Yeah, great question. We ask feedback from our customers and from our team, and we
Okay.
listen. We absolutely listen to both, because you gotta have the best discs on the market to have your team that's required to throw them win world championships. And this last year, we did have the female world champion and the male world champion, and the Grandmasters world champion. So that was very exciting for us as a company. So we listen to the customer and to our players, and they both have different needs and different demands. But most of the customers want to throw what the world champions are throwing too.
Well, of course.
And so it's we listen to that feedback, and then of course we've got more than half of our company is disc golfers, or probably actually 90% are disc golfers, and so we just live and breathe it.
Well, when my first disc golf was a Moonlight Flyer.
Oh my, midnight.
A midnight flyer with this number 8 stamped on the top of it. So yeah, and that's just a regular frisbee. It's just player.
Wow. We'll talk more later.
Okay.
Very cool. Dynamic disc would be on the back of that shirt if we were around back then.
That's right. And with that, that concludes our Q&A session. Let's give it one more round of applause for Jeremy. On behalf of Jeremy, I'm Chris Caputo, your host of Executive Summit. And with that, we will see you next time. Take care and thank you.